Alrighty, so I've got a little bit different of a setup today. Today I'm actually going to be answering the question that I saw on the Patagonia clothing subreddit of what was the difference between the DOS Parka and the AlpLoft Down Parka. But I'm actually going to be throwing in the DOS Light as well, just so then I can actually cover all of Patagonia's climbing belay jackets. So without further ado, let's look at the DOS Light first. So this is the DOS Light. The DOS Light is the lightest weight of all of Patagonia's belay jackets. It's a super great jacket. It's basically got the base insulation of the micro puff. I think it's like 65 grams. I covered that in my DOS Light kind of review video, but just as a refresher, it's a decently warm jacket. It gets its strength from its weather protection from its shell. It's probably the best en route jacket just because it packs up to about this big. Packs up small, it's lightweight, you don't feel it on your harness, and you know, it'll help you out if you're in a pinch and it's cold. It's a great jacket, just the lowest amount of insulation out of all of the three, but like I said, it's probably the best en route jacket for its size and its weight. Okay, so the next jacket we have here is the regular DOS Parka. Now this DOS Parka is kind of the best all-arounder jacket. It's synthetic insulation just like the DOS Light, but it's more of the synthetic insulation. It also has a little bit of difference, whereas the DOS Light has kind of like I said, it's like the micro puff. It has baffles, internal baffles, whereas this is just more sheets of insulation. So it is more insulation. It is warmer than the DOS Light. It's slightly in the middle between the AlpLoft and it's just in the middle. This jacket actually excels more for if you know you're going to be in wet weather, just because it's synthetic. So if you happen to get wet, it'll just keep you insulated. It's great for, you know, kind of wet ice climbing. I love this jacket for that reason. It does still come in like at a pretty lightweight. That's what kind of Patagonia did when they were kind of refining the DOS Parka from previous models. They just kind of made the shell a little bit lighter weight and they got more of a lighter weight insulation. So it's still decently packable. You could put this on your harness. It probably gets about that big in its stuff sack. So it's a little less convenient, but it's still, for what you're getting for how small it gets, but how warm it is, it's still a great jacket. It's just the best all-arounder jacket because it can handle any conditions you throw at it while still being really warm. So it's a great synthetic jacket that's, yeah, you can throw basically anything at it and you'll come out fine. And this is the AlpLoft Down Parka. Just kind of like in my recent video that I did as a first impressions, I actually haven't used it yet, but I did get it for a specific reason. I got it for just those brutally cold days when you're out ice climbing or doing any sort of like mountaineering activity. Because it is down, it definitely excels when it is in dry conditions, just that dry cold. Whereas if you get kind of that wet weather, that's where you'd want to go with a DOS Parka, just because Patagonia doesn't treat their down. So if the water gets through the DWR, your down's going to get wet and you're going to lose a lot of your insulation values. So this jacket definitely excels when it's just bitterly cold. Another thing that this one excels over the DOS Parka is its packability. Just because it's down, it can compress really small. The stuff sack that actually comes with it actually gets down pretty small. I was pretty surprised. Like, I wouldn't mind keeping this on my harness, but kind of with both these bigger bulk jackets, it would be more of I'd keep it in my bag rather than just on my harness. That's kind of the thing that the DOS Light's really nice, is that the DOS Light just gets super small, so you can just clip it on your harness, where as both the DOS Parka and the AlpLoft Down Parka, I would more just keep it in my bag and just pull it out of my bag when I need it. But overall, it's going to be the warmest jacket out of all three, just because it's got a lot of down. You're just going to get nice and toasty, but it definitely has its place, and that place is just, like I said, that dry cold. So think of your big routes in the Canadian Rockies where you're not going to get a whole lot of moisture. That's kind of how I was thinking that I was going to use it, and that's how I'm hoping to use it. So yeah, that is the Patagonia AlpLoft Down Parka. Okay, so I know that was really quick. I can go in depth more. I can maybe write a community post just talking about more the in-depths of the differences of the jackets, and I can do that. Just let me know in the comments if you guys would actually like to see that. But just kind of an overall kind of closing thoughts, kind of how I have it orientated. It's how the jackets compare for its warmth. The DOS Lite is definitely the less warm of the three, and the AlpLoft is definitely the most warm of the three. But definitely overall, the DOS Parka is probably a great overall choice. It's kind of a proven piece. Kind of the same thing with the AlpLoft. I mean, it replaced the grade 7, so it is kind of a time-proven piece. But I think in overall versatility, the DOS Parka probably wins more. The AlpLoft is definitely more of a niche item. Not everyone's going to need the AlpLoft Down Parka. I just kind of wanted it just for those niche times that I've been pretty cold, that the DOS Parka didn't cover. But a majority of those times, the DOS Parka will just do fine. It really is nice on how lightweight it is for how much insulation you get and how warm it is comparatively. It's also like a little bit slimmer of cut, which is kind of nice. You don't look so big and bulky. The one thing I would like to note about the DOS Lite and DOS Parka is that they both use the same shell. It's a recycled nylon Pertex Quantum Pro shell, and they're both 10 denier. So I actually had a DOS Parka before this, and it kind of got ripped up from just rubbing against my harness, which kind of sucked because it is a Belay jacket at the end of the day, so it is meant to handle that sort of thing. So that is just kind of one thing that just the DOS Lite and the DOS Parka have kind of a little bit of a lighter weight shell that maybe can or cannot handle abrasion really well. The AlpLoft has a 20 denier, so it's just that extra little bit of robustness that might help. Don't really know. I guess more testing will kind of answer that question down the road. But yeah, so overall, DOS Parka is probably the best overall. AlpLoft, great if you need it. But overall, it's a very niche item. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let you guys know if you would like to see that community post, kind of going into the in-depth of each jacket, going into like weight and how much insulation and best case use. Like I said, it's just a basic overview video, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one.